Is Ishamael the kindest forsaken?
Will any of these characters be happy at the end of this season?
And Matt's out sick today. Does anybody really care about that? We'll answer these questions and more on this edition of Bustin' Blockbusters. Hey there, Coach T with you. I'm in for Matt, who's out sick today. I appreciate all of the love that you're about to give me. That is for sure. 20% of you will. Anyway, we're talking about season 3, episode 6 of The Wheel of Time, entitled The Shadow of the Night.
Okay.
This episode was written by Rammy Park and directed by Marta Cunningham. Let's get straight into it. Priscilla, how would you rate season 3, episode 6, The Shadow in the Night, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm giving a 9 out of 10 double T's.
Double T's?
Yeah, Trouble in Tanchico.
Yeah.
The whole time we spent in this city, I was just thinking how terrible it was, Like it's dark, people are wearing strange clothing, and there are child brides, villains trying to drown babies. And
But Priscilla, all of that was available on TripAdvisor. It said that about Tanchico, and you're complaining about it now?
That's true. And it took me a while, because I'm not native English speaker, to realize that the song, their most precious song, is about boobs. So it was ridiculous. Everything about the city is like, I don't want to be here.
Whoa.
Yeah, but other than that, I really liked Mogadine, antiques. She was so crazy. And finally, Egwene, finally you get rid of Ram. So happy for you. So happy that you got rid of Rand. Like, Rand is not a good boyfriend.
No.
And he even tried to gaslight her in the end. Like, you're not paying attention to me. But it's like, who would pay attention to you, boy? Who?
He is the Dragon Reborn. But you went 9 out of 10. Was that your favorite thing? Egwene leaving Rand?
If the whole episode was about Egwene leaving Rand, this would be a 10. 10 out of 10. Honestly. And but he had to open his big mouth, and instead of taking it nicely. I mean, in the books he doesn't. So I'm glad that they kept this truthful to the source material. But he was such a jerk about it, and it was even worse because we spent the whole season being impressed with him. Oh, he's finally maturing. Oh my God, he's such a development now. And after Rugian, that and now he's back at being Rand again, and I don't like it.
Oh, well, go ahead. Hey, let me go ahead and say that you went 9 out of 10, but you were focused on that negative Rand. I'm going to talk a little bit about Rand, but my rating is much lower than yours. I'm going down to my kind of almost seemingly every other episode, 7 triple T's out of 10.
Triple T's?
Well, triple T for a big fantasy super production like this is not what you want. Typical TV trouble. This is typical TV trouble. I'm going to talk about the stuff I liked first, so I can get the good stuff out, and you guys listening can know that I did enjoy some of this episode. Mogadine, she is great. Everything she did was great. We need more of her. She's been sprinkled so lightly in all these episodes that she's appeared in so far. We need her to take kind of a center stage, a bit like Lanfear does. She was great. She was wonderful. I love the scene of Mogadine going in and in fighting in some ways, while also corrupting the two not quite Aes Sedai yet, like her with Nynaeve fighting over the magical artifact. I loved that. That was great. I wish the whole episode had been that, but instead it was kind of typical TV stuff. Here I am, a show watcher only. I have not read the books that this season is based on, but I have read the first 2 books. And I could have sworn in the show, in the first 2 books, the idea was, hey, Ishamael he's been trapped in this seal for thousands of years. And then at the beginning of this episode, well, yeah, he was trapped in the seal for all these years, but also 95 years ago, he could go through a dream and talk to Leandra. It's like, wait, huh? I've been watching Aviendha for who knows how many episodes, and I thought she was just like an awesome fighter, a bit like a warder. But suddenly she's using the one power, and I'm like, wait, you can use the one power? Why didn't you use it in any of these other fights? And so it felt like a TV thing, like, oh, now we need them to do this, so they'll do this. The biggest TV thing for me is a scene which I think it could have been an email where Perrin says to this lovely young lady, tell me your backstory. And she goes, great, here's a monologue about my backstory. I know you need that information out. I assume you need that information out, but there's got to be kind of a more natural way to it than tell me your life story while I sit here suffering from the wounds I got. So for me, good stuff, but a lot I was very frustrated by. 7 out of 10. Matt, we know you can't rate anything lower than a 9. What is your rating for this?
No, that's a lie. It's a 7, right? He cannot
That's for
lower
me.
anything.
Yeah. Oh, Matt can't go below a 7. All right. Well, Coach
It's a
T,
7 or 8. I don't remember.
Coach T, you got to get us straight about what our great podcast host, Matt, who loves this series like no other, what was Matt's rating?
Well, can I tell you my rating instead?
Okay,
Matt
sure.
No.
passed out on the couch. My rating is 8.7 out of 10 triple S's.
Triple S?
Yeah, that's Ishamael and Shido showdown.
Ooh.
I thought the episode had a lot of good drama, but they're just like you pointed out, Bubba. There's just too many stories that just kind of come out of the blue for the purpose of moving the story to a certain place. And I just, the whole Perrin Fireweave thing, like you mentioned, Ishamael suddenly coming up out of the blue because lanfear decides suddenly she's going to use them to plan whatever with Moiraine. Like you said, Aviendha suddenly channeling back badass. Why didn't we see any of that before? The caught, and I know you guys, I heard you guys last week. I was sitting in the producer window listening to everything as you guys were recording. Sure. I know that Matt was complaining about, those Cawthon girls won't be able to channel anything like that. Alanna's not that good of a teacher. You saw how poor she was with Egwene in season 2. How the hell is she teaching 2 girls who've never used the one power like that before to heal her in such a way? It just was too convenient. And still, I tried to keep Matt's spirit of ratings.
Good.
So I only went 8.7 out of 10. I would have personally given it a 5 if it had not been for the appearance of some of my brothers in the episode. Otherwise,
they had a great cameo in the episode. I think you may give next week a 10 out of 10 looking at the preview there, Coach T.
Kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's see. I think that's good enough. I've rambled on enough. Why don't we move on to take your 5th? It's an IEL thing, and we just try to decide what the best scene or scenes of this episode were.
Well, Priscilla, what was your best scene or part of episode 6?
Well, I think I'm in the minority here because I enjoyed the whole confrontation, like Aviendha coming out of nowhere and Ishamael coming out of nowhere.
Yep.
And Ran killing Ishamael like Ishamael was just like
with his back turned. Wasn't that great?
Like,
he's like, you're so minor. I can kill you with my back turned.
Yeah, I really like it.
Awesome.
That I really like this, and the fact that he was enjoying so much the taint. No, because like the visuals, like he's kind of caressing the taint, like the taint is the black part.
Keep it clean. Yeah, when you say Rand was caressing the taint, that's adult content.
That's what I took.
It'll get us demonetized, Priscilla. Be careful.
I don't know, but that's what I felt. I felt he got a little bit carried away in his power, and for the story, this is a dangerous path that he's taking, and that's exactly what lanfear wanted from him, to get dangerously close to losing it all. But visually, I really like it, and I really like it the way they done it. And the second part of like taking my 5th for me was Mogi abusing Nynaeve and Elayne,
Heck
and
yeah.
yeah, and after like everything that she's done, like she's spitting food, she's uh tearing, I don't know what it was, that was like underwear, lingerie
Their
apart,
clothes. Yeah, she's a
clothes,
maid supposed
like
to be taking care of their clothes. Let's just rip
yeah,
them. Dang.
putting like worms and
Oh.
insects inside their bowl. It was very good. I really like it.
Mm. That was also my fifth. That was the thing I loved the most. Back to your first one, Priscilla. I think I would have enjoyed this moment of Rand caressing the taint, as you love to say, embracing the dark side, if I hadn't just been thrown for a loop relatively quickly in it with Aviendha suddenly channeling. And again, at the beginning, when I watched the episode, I didn't even know she was channeling. I actually had to Google what the heck was happening because I thought she came in with like flaming lightsabers or something. And I did, even though I'm claiming the Moghedien torch, her manipulating. I love how you said that, Elayne and Nynaeve. I did actually think it was very powerful when Rand killed that child. I was like, whoa, that was a big boo-boo. Ouch. How about you, Coach?
Well, I'm going to go with the Rand and Egwene breakup. We've been waiting for this for a long time, especially Priscilla and I. Finally, it's over. And not only that, but I always love it when our heroes are unhappy, of course, because I'm a Trump.
Coach D.
So I like seeing them unhappy. But I'll say it was a really well acted scene, very dramatic. I'll tell you that Matt didn't care much for Lauren's choice of score under there, but that may not have been his decision. That may have been the director's decision. So can't.
Coach, I want to jump in, and I know we're going to break this down as when we go into the episode even more, but this is a question for you and Priscilla and even me. When Rand suddenly snaps at Egwene, like, you met with the wise ones and haven't given me a second thought. That's what you do. That's what you've always done. Dude, she just pointed out that you're fooling around. You're double effing.
Double effing?
Fooling around with a Forsaken.
Yeah.
I mean, that's inappropriate. And for him to snap back like that, I thought, Rand, you need to zip your lip. Whoa. So Coach and Priscilla, did Rand deserve it? Did he deserve the pretty much shredding of his behavior that Egwene gave him? What do you think, Priscilla?
I think she took it easier.
Whoa!
She should have gone further. She's like,
should she have used the one power on him?
No, just say. I think, like, yeah, he pointed the finger at her, saying that she was not giving him what he needed, right?
Yeah.
Because she was too busy trying to work herself
right. How dare you have a life of your own?
Yeah, out of the torture that his mistress was putting for, and like he always knew Egwene was this way. That she is an ambitious girl, she wants to do this. So that was always part of the package. But he pulled that, he tried to reverse Uno cards and put this on her. The minute had it been me, I would say, yes, and I always hesitated being with you, and you just proved me right? So this feeling that I always had that we are together, but perhaps we should not, you just proved me correct. You're fooling around with the lanfear who is trying to basically torture me in my sleep until I get crazy or I don't know, abandon you. And it's such a stupid ploy. Such obvious ploy what lanfear is doing to this man-child at this point.
Whoa. Well, let's go to you, Coach. Coach, do you have any way to defend Rand at this moment, or did you think Egwene treated him correctly, too soft, too harsh? What are your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I think Egwene could have done more. I'm kind of like Priscilla, but that's simply because he's the Dragon Reborn. I want to see him hurt as badly as possible.
Okay, yeah, you're a bit biased, Coach.
A little bit biased there, but I'll also say this, Bubba, and I think this points back to some of your concerns regarding the rating, because we've seen Rand be much more understanding about the trauma that Egwene's going through and everything in the first few episodes of the season, and then suddenly he's back to being season 1, episode 2, Rand just screaming at Egwene. That's just it just seemed like it was something to keep the conflict going long enough for Ishamael to come in and wave his hammer. Nice
I don't
ending, by
know.
the way.
I don't know. I think the whole charade of Rand is actually becoming a little bit more like Lou staring, that Lanfear wants to force him to do it. Who is Rand? That's my biggest question right now.
These are wonderful questions. And hey, I think they're questions that maybe we'll dive in deeper to on the Wheel of Topics.
We've got flashback. That's Leandrin. You can include the dream with lanfear there if you want. We've got Tanchico. There's some more Leandrin in there. We've got the threefold land, obviously, where some of the episode happens. And we've got the two rivers. That's only 4 topics. So let's spin the wheel. Bubba, where did it land?
Well, this is a place, once again, Priscilla looked at TripAdvisor and said, this crap hole country doesn't deserve any support, Tanchico. So let's go there. Maybe it was better, like maybe we're all going to Tanchico because, 95 years ago, it was a better place to visit. Oh, wait, no, Child Brides. It wasn't any better 95 years ago. So we see young Leandrin. It was a child bride. She's given birth to her own child, and she's being kept in like a cell from theoretically the person who forced her to be his wife. Ooh, and she behaves, she does what you always wish other people would do. Kill their husbands. And so nobody helps her. She is just, what does she look? Maybe 14, maybe 15-year-old girl carrying a baby, and nobody in Tanchico wants to help her? That,
Typical.
Tanchico's a lot like New York, Bubba. Tanchico's a lot like New
York.
Don't you attack New York. New York's a great city.
I'm telling you, all New Yorkers know.
No, here we go.
To look out for a scam.
Okay. It was a scam, a young girl holding a baby, just a way to get free money. Okay, Coach, you got me. So here's my big thing. The only person in Tanchico who gives her any bit of comfort and sympathy and empathy is, if I understand correctly, somebody she met in the dream world, right? And that is Ishamael, who I don't have any idea, based on as a show watcher, of how he could be here at this time. But he was the nice person. He was like, hey, let me give you a hand. So in some ways, this is a fun backstory for how did Leandrin become a Black Aja? How did she join the darkness? But to me, Leandrin, what this also implies is that you've been with the shadow for over 75 years. You deserve no sympathy. Okay, hey, you were in a bad spot and the dark ones and his Forsaken helped you out. But for 75 years to keep serving them, you get no sympathy, Leandrin. When you get the punishment you've got coming, you're going to sadly deserve it. That's what I say.
Excellent point. Priscilla, what do you think about that?
Well, the Ishamael, I don't know. I didn't read all the books, but I read some.
Don't explain it yet. We're going to do that in the spoiler section.
Yeah. But I read some comments that might explain it, why Ishamael was there somehow. And it was good to see Ishamael again. That's was true. Missing him. And Fares is always a very good actor, and he can really express some sympathy and I didn't feel like in the brief connection that they were making there that he was faking it, that he was feigning it. I felt it was sincere at that moment, which is even more interesting because of his allegiances. You would expect him to be manipulative, but this also gives me more insight and information that like each Forsaken that we are seeing, they have their own styles, they have their own talents, they have their own ways to go around. So Lanfear is threatening people left and right. Moghedien is crazy in her Moghedian way, and we saw Ravine, and Samuel is like no longer with us. So Ishamael seems to use his empathy, which I found very, very telling. I really like this moment. So to me, specifically, this was the highlight of Tanchico, the Tanchico flashback for Leandrin was actually the moment that Ishamael stepped in. So I did not question much, I thought it was plausible for me because emotionally it resonated with me. But I can see exactly what you're telling me. As a show watcher, this would not make sense.
It's out of the blue.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Coach, what did you think? In your opinion, does Liandrin deserve any sympathy because people treated her so badly 95 years ago?
Well, I think that's what the show is trying to do. They've been trying to up Leandrin's character to make us invest in her more, to make her look more like a victim. Especially since season 2, they made her much more of a painted villain type in season 1, but then they started to get a little bit more nuanced with her in season 2, and now they're just kind of extending that. To what end? Who knows? But I think that they're pretty convincing in the fact that you can see her even more as a victim, as somebody who's traumatized, and as a reason why she might turn to the dark side of the Force, so to speak. So I think that, as far as a storytelling incident for making us invest in Liandrin more, fine. I've never really dealt with Liandrin personally, so I can't tell you what she's really like, what her true intentions are.
Coach, you're not hanging out with her at the Dark Friend socials?
She's kind of on the other side over there. We don't get to go to the socials. We have to hang around on the outside, if you remember from the opening in season 2.
Coach, how can you be on that team if they having a party and they make you wait outside? Come on.
We kind of have our fun. Every once in a while, a little girl will stray out. We get to run at them, scare them a little bit, like we did in season 2.
No way. Well, okay, that was Tanchico in the past. I'm sure 95 years later, it's a much more progressive and inclusive society.
Nope.
Uh-oh. So there is a lot of fun. I was the toughest rating of 7 out of 10, but there is a lot of fun. And let me say that I can be like anybody. You give me a catchy tune and these characters smiling and having fun, which they seemingly don't get a lot of opportunities to do. I can enjoy that as well. So why don't we go to you first, Coach, or Matt, if Matt wants to wake up and join. What did you think of the big, almost musical episode and the return of Tom Maryland?
Well, I happen to know that Tom Maryland is one of Matt's favorite characters from the books. So I guess we should be happy that he's back. And he doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with the boys. That's for sure. He's definitely. Did you see him walking with the limp? Did you notice that he was limping when he was pulling away from Matt there the first time? And Matt was calling after him. He was kind of stutter stepping. So I would imagine that my friend Mydril Fade, he probably got Tom pretty good when they faced off in season 1. But Tom survived. That's a great news for people who love Tom Maryland. I personally think he sings a little out of tune. I don't think his guitar's tuned correctly.
Oh, Coach.
But that's just me. Trolloc ears are very sensitive. Look how big they are. And so it affects us in a way. On the other hand, when he got down to doing that musical number with Elayne, he's a pretty good accompanist. I mean, her time wasn't great, and he followed it really well. So,
Coach, man, the toughest music critic ever, Coach. You're completely brutal. Priscilla, did you enjoy Nynaeve? Probably the least likely one to go have a drunk girls' night out, having her drunk girls' night out. Did you enjoy Elayne, who we keep getting reminded is the prim and proper princess getting to go have some fun? What did you think of this silly song that did bring a bit of happiness to the middle of this episode?
Hills of Tanchico.
I really didn't get it at first. It took me a while. Like it took me seeing the women like rubbing their
Yes,
breath.
all the people. Women
to realize.
Wow.
To realize what was all about, and I'm glad that Elayne. It also took a while for Elayne to realize, so I don't feel that much bad. But honestly, I don't know. I didn't like Tanchico at all.
No.
Let's
pause. Okay, so maybe you weren't into the singing, but there was also it's not exactly a palace, but we'll call it the Black Aja intrigue. There's a lot of internal, almost backstabbing amongst the Black Aja of, oh, I follow lanfear. No, I follow this Forsaken.
Robin, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a lot of backstabbing. Did you not like that either? Did you not like, that evil Black Aja who stole all the things from the 13th depository, getting got and getting a little spike through the brain? That was good for me.
I enjoy, like, in theory, what they are doing. Okay, I enjoy in theory because the Black Aja Palace, as you say, should be a place of intrigue, and I really like
Yeah.
Mugijin's role as being this maid infiltrated there just to basically full take the measure of the things and like try to gather information, because the main takeaway is about the Forsaken, really. Like, you have these factions and who are with whom, because the dark side, they are all fractured and they are always constantly trying to upstage the other. So this was interesting in theory. What I'm saying is that every time I would go back to Tanchico, I would not enjoy it. Okay.
No.
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it to be there. And I understand dramatically why the scenes were there. I understood why they wanted to put the song there, how they introduced Tom Merrily in the story. I also appreciated she has a good rapport with everybody there. I really like it, the way she helped finding like the information that they needed. I thought it was really, it showed how clever she is, how fast she is. And while, okay, they tried to give Nynaeve something, but Nynaeve was not there yet, no, because the scene was all about Min.
Yep.
And I can see why they wanted to put some relief there. Why the story was already too heavy in Tanchico. And Elayne is a bright spot. She has been a very good character since she was introduced, but the first season, every time she's in, she's shining. I really like it. But I don't know, it was not there for me. I don't know why. I don't know how exactly I can explain. Just that I didn't enjoy it. I understand everything. I take the points away. I can see what they're doing. Not enjoy it.
I understand that completely. I'll tell you what. For me, even though it didn't make my fifth, it was one of the most riveting scenes. Was that between Elayne and Nynaeve and Mogi?
Yes.
That was special. And seeing Nynaeve be able to resist a little bit, that's scary. Now, I will tell you that I've never been more attracted.
Resist while her face was still smiling, like she was still under Mogi's power.
Right.
That is a great look.
Exactly. I will say that I've never been more attracted to a Forsaken in my life than some of the things that Mogi did in this episode. They were absolutely fantastically gross. That's a Trolloc way. Love it.
Okay, sure thing,
but I think that scene showed what kind of power Nynaeve has. And I love how we saw how Mogi, I'll call her that, she's my friend. I loved how Mogi was very intrigued by this. You could see the look, the expression on her change when she's kind of like, when Nynaeve's still holding on to the sad bracelet, to the part of the male idom. And it's almost like, a challenge. That's what I kept getting from her.
Okay. All right. Well, you've kind of spelled it out pretty good. We've got, we were introduced in season 2 to, hey, the Sean Chan, this is how they control a female Aes Sedai, somebody with channeling ability. To control somebody like the dragon, you're going to need 2 bracelets and two people to physically handle this guy, even if you collar him. So very, very exciting. Do you want to talk about, Matt, how Liandrin has a goal of, I want to be a Forsaken? She's like, hey, I want a promotion. Look at all of this I've done. I've served him, as I keep pointing out, for over 75 years. Is it good that Liandrin, who is at times in this episode literally under Lanfear's boot,
Yeah.
is it good that Liandrin is making a play for power?
It's interesting because back in season 2, when Liandrin first brought the girls to the Shanshan, what did she say to that Shanshan? She said, at some point, I'll be more powerful than you and you'll be kneeling to me. That's what she was referring to, was the fact that she wanted to be a Forsaken for so long. Was that one of the things that Ishamael promised her way back when she was a kid? She may have had this ambition for a very long time. But I love how it's finally fully flushed out in this particular story, that we understand what that thing is that she's truly desiring. Why you would desire that, I don't know. I'd much rather be a Trolloc than a Forsaken, but that's just me.
Can I, as the non-book reader, I will go ahead and predict there's no way you introduce this great collar for a male channeler and these two bracelets, the two controllers for the collar. There's no way that I can see that this is going to end with our heroes at the end of the season having this. I think it does have to end with this in the hand of our villain. So that's my prediction as the show watcher only. I'm guessing that this is almost a storyline where our heroes are going to almost win a war but lose a battle, and the battle is that the evil.
I like it. I like it.
Collar.
Yeah, I like it. We do know where the collar is now. We found out through the Black Aja that it is located in the Panarch's palace.
Yeah.
So we may not see so much of the dock side of Tanchico.
Thank goodness.
We may see more of the city side. One of the other peninsulas where the Panarch's palace is actually located. Remember, there are 3 peninsulas here, hence 3 hills of Tanchico, which would be perfect for a Trolloc, but
Anything else you guys want to say about our heroes who are battling the Black Aja there on the West Coast?
Priscilla, you got anything else?
The Black Aja? No. Yeah, I wish we had more time, like exploring the sisters of the Black Aja, because we just see Naomi and Liandrin and the other one that I don't even know the name, that is being the one that is being killed by Mogi.
And let me say, as the sexist male who loves attractive women, I want to see more of Jean too. This, white.
Everybody apparently, she made an impact in the fandom. They are wanting more of her. But I mean,
wait a minute. Let me ask this real quick. Is it possible that Min created the destiny that she saw because she told him about the fact that
killed?
Yeah.
Oh boy, if she did, that would be typical Min screwing everything up.
Well, I mean, she told him to go after her, that he was going to marry her. So did she create was she the creation of the own
Coach
vision
T, you
that
did
she
it.
saw?
You've joined the Min haters. Good work, Coach T.
I'm not hating on her. I'm just asking a question.
No, I think Min knows that her visions, they happen in ways that she sometimes doesn't exactly see, if that makes sense.
But would he have even pursued her if she'd said that? Because he said he didn't even know her.
Yeah, but that's the power of having a vision and say, hey, something amazing waits you.
It's the Tanchico Tango.
Yeah, it's the Tanchico Tango.
Do you approach the pretty girl or not?
Yeah, but what I wanted to say, it was like the Liandrin thing, wanting to be a Forsaken. Liandrin, she's smart. She knows the jig is up. She knows that the thing among the Black Aja, the Dark Friends, and the Forsaken, it's a stiff competition. There is always a space to grow because there is always somebody getting... so she was like, yeah, one of these days, one of these Forsaken is going to get eliminated, and then I step in. So that's what I think it was. And Liandrin, I mean, again, smart. Yes. That's why she joined, because in the company, in the film, like you always have opportunity to grow. That was a selling point for her.
All right. Okay. Well, let's let's spin the wheel and let's see where else we can land. We landed on Lan, in the threefold Lan.
Wow.
So Lan was not in this episode very much at all. Probably should have been to protect everybody as a warder. He needs to, check, hit his quota. But instead, we've got the painful breakup we've already talked about a lot. Maybe before that, let's go to Rand, who is now the Corn Cob. He is going to be the leader, and he's getting, quote unquote, to know his people, and he's friendly. And hey, this is our sustainable veggie garden here in the Aiel Waste. And what do you think? Is this? Can he do it? He's giving you a toe. I'll give you some toe. Here, you need some toe. He's out politicking amongst his people. What do you think about this part, Priscilla?
So politicking, do you think that Rand was just being nice to the kid because other people were looking there, and he was trying to be, and he was trying to get favor with these people? And he tried to get out of the duty to actually harvest the squashes by killing a child. Do you think he's so evil that?
Oh my goodness!
Is that what you say?
No, I thought Rand was like, this little girl, if we're not careful, she'll be marrying somebody in Tanchico. So let me take care of her.
It's like awful. No, it's like, yeah, it's like I am the dragon, because now he's getting like this image as himself as the dragon reborn.
Yep. Hey, look at it.
As he said, you see, I'm the dragon reborn, Egwene, and when he was fighting with Egwene. So he has this idea. He's like, oh, the dragon reborn should not harvest squash. He should not be doing this.
Right.
Yeah. No, honestly, Rand, the interactions with Rand and the girl, they always made me cringe a little bit.
Oh,
because
no.
you could see that something bad is going to happen to this girl.
I didn't see that. I'm stupid. I didn't see it.
Why would they be giving her such screen time? So.
I should have seen it, especially when, in the middle of this episode, we had another scene, and I think the show could actually give us more of these, of Rand can't control it. Like, if he just thinks about it a little bit, the guy's, noticed on the Richter scale, like he's causing earthquakes.
Yep.
I mean, Rand, I should have seen it coming. Instead, we saw why maybe the Aes Sedai collaring Rand isn't such a bad idea. Because right now he cannot control it. He cannot control it. And as he said, what's the prophecy say? What's in the box? He's
destruction and creation.
Yeah. He realizes that he's got the destruction part down already. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. Book readers were very worried last week when Alcera got introduced. I remember seeing several posts that this little girl better not be that little girl in big capital letters. Right? And it is. It's something that is from the books. It's not from this location, but it is from the books. And it was very heartbreaking to see, even for a Trolloc. I will say that.
I mean, she was a red shirt.
And the red hair.
No, red shirts don't get to talk. They just stand there and get shot.
Yeah, I really don't like when they put children in these roles, to be honest.
It's awful. It was awful.
Let me say that Rand's power was so overwhelming that it kind of covered up the screen, and I didn't realize or know for sure what the fate of this Forsaken with the hammer was, because it was all in the background and, kind of covered by the one power and the corrupt one power taint. So am I supposed to take, and maybe this is not fair, but as a show watcher, am I supposed to assume that this particular Forsaken, he gone?
Can I jump in there real quick?
Sure.
So the thing is there were a couple of shots that you could see him under the rocks, and he was quite unmoving. But that was after Rand had used the one power. Nonetheless, if you remember back in season 2, when
Yeah,
Lanfear was killed by Moiraine,
yeah, she
there was a
didn't
little
stay
black
dead too
fleck that
long.
showed up in her eye, and then
Mhm.
she suddenly started getting healed herself. That's usually why we say Forsaken can't be killed, because the thing that happened to Lanfear happens to, it wasn't Lanfear doing that. That was outside influence, or
Yeah.
just, being a servant of the Dark One. And so we can probably assume that that same thing will happen for Samael. Will he stick around? Well, it doesn't seem like that. The way that he came in, I imagine he's going to go out the same way. He's probably just going to get the heck out of there.
I will not be shocked if in the next episode this hammer wielding Forsaken is still alive. I will not at all.
Exactly.
But the one thing that I suppose is maybe silly is in season 2 when Lanfear got stabbed in the back. It was like, okay, I have this wound and I could heal this wound. There was a part of me that's saying, you know what? If Rand took that hammer and went to town and like totally dismembered this Forsaken, could he really heal himself from that? So I don't know.
Well, and it also raises the question, is Ishamael really dead? Because they keep bringing up that he's dead.
Yes, thank you.
But, Rand didn't, unless he had some kind of special power wielding into that sword, and he was using the one power with the sword, but I don't know exactly how that would be any different, other than we saw Ishamael turn into ash. That's the one difference.
The one thing I'll say, and once again, I have not read past the first 2 books, so I don't really know what's happening at all in this, is that I kind of, even though I love this actor, just as Priscilla was talking about, this actor who plays Ishamael, he's great. But there's a part of me that, didn't he almost have a rueful smile when he realized, okay, the dragon reborn has killed me? It was almost like he was a terrible, evil villain, but in his death,
He was
got
relieved to
peace.
die, yeah.
Yeah, and so a part of me hopes Ishi doesn't come back, even though he's a great actor and a great character. I don't know. Priscilla, what do you think? Are these Forsaken still kicking, or is Samael, that's it? He's got to wait for the wheel to spin for him to come back.
I don't know. It seems to be part of the deal of the Forsaken that the Dark One can bring them
back.
So with the Ishamael, like his deepest desire is actually to die, to cease to exist. So I think that's why he was smiling in the end. Samael, it always comes down to the reasons why the Forsaken joined the Shadow. Samael, it's not really one Forsaken that of notice.
Okay.
Somehow, so I can see that he dead. I can see him being dead. I can see like Liandry is very busy putting together her resume now and sending to the Dark One to get Samael's place. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And she we spend more time with her. So I don't know. I hope he's dead, but it's possible that he's not. I also didn't like him that much.
Oh, okay.
So, he was ready to fight Lanfear, and Lanfear is a much better character than he is. So I would be Team Lanfear there.
I agree with that.
Well, and the other thing is why do you bring in a Forsaken, quote unquote, just to have him make appearance for half of a scene in one episode, and to basically be on screen for 5 minutes in another episode? It seems kind of cheap to treat a Forsaken that way. They deserve a little more respect. Right,
but we've got Coach.
No,
Coach,
I think
we've got a handful of them. We can lose one, no big deal.
Exactly. There is this thing that how you can assess someone's power is by defeating another powerful being. Right. So maybe it's a way of them showing, look, this is the Dragon Reborn. He has no training. He is being reborn in this era where most of the knowledge has been lost. And even at this very low ranking of the power that Samael is, because he's ranked very low, this is a Forsaken. This is a guy that comes from the Age of Legends. This is like someone that had time, had opportunity, and talent to tune in his talents. But this guy lost to this other guy. So
there you go.
Look at this. Look at Rand. look what if he just by defeating Samael, how can you figure out what he can do in the future when he has more experience, more training, and so forth?
Bubba, as a show watcher, I have a question for you.
Oh, I love it. Let's hear it.
Did you catch which Aiel were with Samael attacking Rand and Egwene?
No, let me say that I'm worried that this kind of spoiled it a bit. So once again, one of my negatives and one of the reasons why I went to down to 7 in my rating is Aviendha coming in with these flaming lightsabers. And so to kind of understand what I had missed in this very quick scene of action, I was trying to figure that out. And I believe what I read online, which makes a whole lot of sense, is there are dark friends everywhere. In that these were dark friend Aiel who had told Samael, hey, this is where Rand is. He's with us. And so that's who it implied these other figures with the Forsaken were.
Excellent. Now, let me say that Lanfear had told Moiraine at the beginning of the episode that she had something planned for Rand. So obviously she's the one who let Samael know.
Yeah, she wants him, touching,
to embrace the dark side. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So not only that, but did you notice that those Aiel that came with Samael were dressed in black? What other Aiel have we seen dressed in black? In the Meridian episode, and remember at the beginning of episode 5, there was a conversation with the wise ones in Aviendha where they were saying that the Shido did not approve of Rand being the Karakan.
Right.
So I think we can put it together, putting those pieces together, that it was Aiel, who were with Samael there attacking.
Well, I had said when they were introduced that Rand was going to wipe them out. I didn't realize he was going to do it because they're all evil. But, this just proves the clothes you wear say a lot about you.
It's true. Sure.
Notice how Priscilla is wearing a nice gray, a cool color. I'm wearing blue, like the Blue Aja. And Coach Trolloc, you're dressed in black. Uh-oh. Coach.
I don't have any clothes on. That's the way I roll.
You.
That might be worse.
It
might be worse.
It is.
Just the fur.
Black fur, that's enough.
Are there any double M's worth mentioning?
Double M's?
Oh, yeah, Moiraine mentions.
Well, she has still got this uneasy partnership with the woman she's seen in visions who's going to kill her. So Moiraine this episode gives you two different thoughts. One of those thoughts is that if she and Rand can really work together, and, she's trying to, harness the power of this, I'm going to mispronounce it, so I don't want to even say the crystal ball. If she and Rand can work together, they could be a powerful team, but it feels like it's flip a coin if that's going to happen or not. What did you think about Moiraine, Priscilla?
I don't think Lan uttered a single word this episode. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear Lan's voice this episode?
No.
And Moiraine, she took the back seat, right? She has been, since they came back from Rudian, it seems that they have not interacted. That's what the dialogue with Rand implied, that since they came back, that they shared this experience, that they have not been talking. I can only assume that she has been spending the time mulling over what to do next, because she had the scene with Swan, and we don't get actually a conclusion out of the scene. What is the next step for them, right? And so what I read was that Moiraine is trying to actually help Rand, but she doesn't know exactly what she can do given what she saw in Rudy and what is the path, because all the paths that she saw, she has to die, right? So this is like a hard pill to swallow for her, I would suppose. And I really like that Rand recognizes that, because he asks her point blank if she saw him killing her, and she said yes, sometimes. So I like that he recognizes that there is a huge amount of danger to his position as the Dragon Reborn, and what it means and what is not. And but on the other hand, I like this whole thing with lanfear and Moiraine. It has gotten to a point where it has no more use. I feel that Moiraine knows, and that Moiraine is just biding her time until
And
what she
Lanfear
saw.
even accuses her of that. Yes.
Yeah, yes, until what she saw in Viridian happens. And you are entirely correct. That's what Lanfear thinks too. So it's being pretty obvious.
Yeah. Can I just point out one more thing about
No,
these
you love
episodes?
pointing stuff out. We need Matt back here who never points out anything.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, you like it. We're just rolling over him, don't you? Yeah. So I have a little bit of a problem with the way that they're playing fast and loose with magic rules. In the second episode, it seemed like Moiraine could see Rand channeling. In this episode, it seemed like Egwene, Aviendha, and Moiraine could all see Rand channeling. So if that's the case, if a female can see a male channeling, then why was nobody able to see the shield on Moiraine? She was amongst people who could experience the one power at least when she was in Carrion, she was in the presence of Leanne, she was in the presence of Swan. Why couldn't anybody see that then?
They cannot see it, but they can feel what is happening around them, right?
The earthquake scene, right, Coach?
The earthquake scene, yeah, she's seeing what is happening around her. Yeah, that's correct. But the last scene is saying that they are seeing him channel.
Well, why couldn't anybody feel the shield on Moiraine in season 2? If you can still feel it, why couldn't any of them feel it then?
Because it was a shield.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still a use of the one power being tied off or not.
But he was making the world shake at that point. So they are feeling the world shaking, and they were feeling the stones in the last scene, and they saw what it was happening. And it's like, obviously it's Rand. So the visual clues are for us, I feel. I don't know. I'm not sure. You might be right.
That's what I'm saying. They're not playing the same with the rules. They didn't give us any visual clues about the shield. They didn't give us any visual clues.
Okay.
They didn't give us any visual clues this season when the Forsaken, who's posing as the paramour of the Queen, like he was using the one power all the time, and there were no visual clues that he was doing it in the White Tower, though he must have, right? So the show does it when it needs to.
Exactly, when it's convenient. That's why I'm complaining.
Got it.
Yeah, to me,
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, Coach, I kind of think you do have to kind of hold the audience's hand through some of this. And so if you want it to be a reveal that people are using the one power, then you do have to hide it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's convenient.
Yeah. It's TV.
And I don't mind that part of it, Coach. I understand that you do. Coach, I would almost say that Moiraine and Lan, as we all keep mentioning, didn't have a scene together. And it's almost like they need to separate so Lan can go on his storyline of saving his kingdom. That's me as a non-book reader guessing. But if this is just another reason to separate them like they were separated in season 2, I get it. Let's go. Hey, see you later, Lan. Go rescue your land, Lan.
Yeah, Lan.
The double L, Land's land.
But there we have 2 episodes yet.
Right, but we know what's going to happen next week is there's going to be a whole lot of shaking in the 3 rivers, the 3 hills of the 2 rivers. Coach T, you obviously love Trollocs, but you have a working relationship with humans and your boy Padden Fane, who we really haven't seen a lot of. You guys make a good team. He is bringing you there pretty much to show what a terrible job the White Cloaks are doing of protecting the city. Like literally, they're doing a terrible job of whatever they're trying to do, because Trollocs can be within, what do you say, a football field length of 2 Rivers town, and nobody notices anything.
Yeah.
Were you excited to see Padden Fane back, Coach? I think you do like his evilness. How about
Well,
you,
I
Priscilla?
like Padden Fane personally as a friend.
Okay, I thought
but
so.
his whistle annoys me. He needs a new
What?
whistle.
Coach,
And
Coach, that's like a thing
like-
just for you.
Trolloc ears,
no, yeah.
Bubba. Trolloc ears. I mean, that thing just pierces me. I can't stand it. Something that I did notice though is when he's first
Oh,
standing
yeah.
over the two rivers.
Yeah.
And I hate to link this into a future subject, but Fael tells us that her mom is
Yeah.
a dark friend.
Yep, that's what she said.
So is it possible that woman that was standing beside Padden Fane is that Fael's mom?
Whoa.
Huh?
That would be a great twist. So when Padden Fane is overlooking the town, and you do see a lot of Trollocs with them, but Coach T, you're pointing it out. There is a woman there with Padden
there?
Fane. There is.
Wow.
Standing very close to him. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so
Two swords
Coach,
behind him.
I think that is, you have Trolloc eyes, so you can see in the darkness pretty well.
Yeah.
I think you might be spoiling us on a future storyline. Good work, Coach.
I mean,
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, why is it a spoiler? I'm just making us an assumption because I'll tell you something, Bubba. This
Sure.
isn't the way it is in the books at all. So
Boy,
I'm just
Coach
guessing.
T, you mentioned the book somehow more than Matt does. That's incredible.
Oh my God. It's like, you know what? I was
What?
thinking the whole time now
Yeah.
how great it was like when Padden Fane arrived.
Yeah.
Like the only person that actually thought something was off was Child Valda. So you have the
He's
two
smart dude,
worst.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have and Child Valda, as always, he gives the face expressions like, what is wrong with
Like,
you? It's
take
like-
your outfit to dry cleaning, loser. What-
Yeah.
I mean, how dare you dirty a white
and
cloak?
Child Valda is in the spotless,
Spotless.
white
Mhm.
with Bornholm Jr. washed out, almost
Oh.
dark gray,
Yep.
feel of dust and dipped in schnapps. And then comes Padden Fane, like, yeah. So you have the reunion of these two villains there. I really hope that they are friends, but they don't like each other.
So the white cloaks there,
Yeah.
that Padden Fane shows up with, they do all have to be dark friends, right? Because they would have had to
Mhm.
kill any white cloak, actual light cloaks, and then steal their uniforms.
Identity,
That's why
yeah.
Valda's is so Fane's is so messed up because Trollocs, we have difficulty being careful when we kill.
Yeah, one time, Coach.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, we failed.
Okay, so once again, I love saying I'm not a book reader. Part of me wonders, why is all of this happening? Meaning I know why the White Cloaks are there. Our boy wants revenge for his murdered dad. I get it. He thinks Perrin is an evil dark friend. I get it. So that's why his forces are there. They're nowhere necessarily close to the town for hashtag reasons. They formed a perimeter that somehow they missed that there was a waygate there that they don't think people could use. Fine, whatever. But why is Padden Fane there? And so there's a part of me that wonders, I mean, there's got to be a million places in this world where you would want the Trollocs to attack. So maybe the Dark One, who we know is paying attention to the people who he want in Tanchico. In fact, one of the Dark Friends one of the Black Aja in Tanchico said, "Oh, hey, 3 of the 5 that the evil one wants are here in Tanchico." So is Padden Fane there specifically because Perrin's there? Are both of the antagonists, meaning the White Cloaks and Padden Fane, attacking the two rivers because Perrin is there? And that's the Dark One obviously wants friends of the dragon pain and suffered in invulnerable positions. So that's what I assume, but it could be as just as simple as, hey, the evil ones will attack and kill innocent people. So who knows?
It's a great question.
I
think we should answer it.
Priscilla, are you happy that Matt's younger sisters who've lost a mother are now powerful channelers who can listen to Alanna and heal people?
Poppycock.
What do you think,
Well,
Priscilla?
I think it's great that I was right.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I
Too
tell
bad
you
Matt's not here to respond to that.
And I tell you more. These two girls lost their mom.
Yep.
Alanna is there.
Yep.
Maxine there. They are big, happy family now.
Yeah, better parents.
It's like parents like Maxim and Alanna have like these two good channelers. They are going to guide, protect, teach. Yeah, like Maxine is going to protect and Alanna is going to guide and teach them. And it will be a happy family until something will happen.
Well, let me say that because Matt isn't here, I'll go ahead and say what he would say if he was here. You're right, Priscilla. I don't know what I'm talking about. I wish I had read the books. I've been lying this whole time and never read them.
Hey, Matt.
Here, let me do some
Matt,
musical
what do you got to
analysis.
say that, Matt?
Wait, what? But he's not here.
Tell her.
What? Yeah.
Forgive. Okay.
Oh boy. His final words before he passes away. Oh, that's so sad, Matt.
It is sad.
I did have to hold a claw on him to get him to say that.
Now, Priscilla, this is, we don't like revealing too many things, but we all know that you met your Mr. Priscilla when you were healing him from a terrible battle wound. So did you appreciate this love story between Perrin and Faile?
No.
What? This is love.
Come on, you're going to tell. Let's see. Let's get to know each other. Let me tell you the worst thing about me. You tell me the worst thing about you so that we can just get this over with.
Whenever I meet a girl, I immediately tell her that my mom is evil, just like Faile did. She's like, hey, Perrin, let me tell you, my mom's an evil and pledged to the devil.
Yeah. Well, what about Perrin? Hey, I can empathize. I killed my wife.
But that just proves that unlike Egwene and lanfear, Faile knows that there's not going to be a love triangle.
Waiting for the fake Holly laugh there.
Well, I got a laugh out of Priscilla there. It took a while, but
I have to be honest, I didn't mind the dialogue as much as you did.
All right.
No,
it didn't bother me.
It bothered me. It's interesting information. It's just delivered weird or kind of set up weird. Would you kiss somebody like that? Would you kiss somebody like that? Make out with them like Faile did?
Perrin was already dreaming about Faile.
He was
in the previous episode. So
yeah, he doesn't know anybody, so he's quick to glam onto people.
He wasn't dreaming about his dead wife.
It's natural that he wanted to know more about her, right? So it's just natural. It was the opportunity that he had.
Now,
not over drinks, but over his sick bed.
Right. Is it possible that because Perrin was just so high on drugs, that's why he was into Faile? That wants the drug.
Can I share a theory that book readers have that we don't know anything about because, this was a TV show invention, Perrin's wife.
Okay, sure. Let's hear it.
So we've been throwing around for a long time, from season 1, that Layla was in fact a dark friend.
Whoa.
Why was she?
Okay, here's why.
Let's hear it.
Did you look at that shot where Perrin turns around to kill her? Her axe is raised. She might be trying to kill him.
Oh, wow.
Second thing, in one of his dreams in season 1, the wolves are attacking her. She's dead, and the wolves are there eating her.
Whoa.
He's, the wolves are his friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
And then this time around, as soon as Faile says dark friend, suddenly he starts talking about his wife.
Wow. So he knows.
Is that Rafe the king of subtext or what?
Wow.
You convinced me.
He was sleeping with the enemy.
He is the Rand before Rand.
Listen, if you suspect, start swinging your axe. Don't get confirmation. Just swing. Trust your wolf dreams.
But there is a proof that this theory might not be true because Layla's tree is growing.
Good point. And it's
That's an excellent point.
Growing white. It's not growing like a dark tree.
Yeah, and it's growing, and Perrin was actually
it's an apple seed. What else is it supposed to grow as?
Yeah,
I would think if she was actually a dark friend, it wouldn't grow at all.
Yeah, you see? So she was good. She had a good
Okay.
soul.
I can accept that. I like it, Priscilla.
Would you be able to would Perrin be able to forgive himself for accidentally killing his dark friend wife?
His dark friend wife.
Forgive me, Father, I have sinned. How long has it been? Well, since I killed my dark friend wife, about 2 years.
Do you think the wife is a dark friend just for Perry to look around and say, "Oh, okay, then I don't need to
Right.
feel guilty anymore"? Yeah,
Or maybe
you
it's
think
just
it's
so that Perrin, we know that Perrin has a type. You got to have a little bit of dark friend blood in you.
Ooh.
My God.
Oh, my Lord.
Well,
Man.
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, so
For this one time, yeah.
just now.
What else we got on the Two Rivers, folks?
Well, okay, I love predicting, and I said my prediction that everybody mocked last week. The way this storyline has to end is that these antagonists, the White Cloaks, have to slowly realize, wait a minute, there aren't dark friends in the village. The Trollocs are attacking the village, and so somehow the villagers and the White Cloaks are going to have to beat back the Trollocs, even though there got to be dozens of them. It feels like a very typical story beat, but it also feels correct. I know the listener got upset with me for not pointing out all the evilness of the White Cloaks, and they have been evil. But I always mentioned last season, when push came to shove, the White Cloaks did attack the Seanchan. And to me, the Seanchan were the ultimate evil in season 2. So even though they're completely wrong, I think the White Cloaks will, if they're not all wiped out, I think the White Cloaks will somehow, those that survive, flip to the good guy team and help save the Two Rivers. That's my prediction.
That's a really tough prediction to make if you've seen the trailer.
You keep saying that. I hadn't noticed this in the trailer, Coach. Like I wasn't on those trailer podcasts.
Okay, well, you didn't watch the trailer?
To be honest, not sure I did. There's a chance I did.
There's a scene in the trailer where white cloaks and townsfolk are fighting side by side.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that. Oh, you spoiled it.
No, I didn't spoil you. You saw a trailer and thought you were making some kind of cheap prediction that actually isn't a prediction at all.
Well, it's the way the story had to go, Coach. It's not kind of, Well, how about this?
What about Bornhole Jr.?
Coach, all right. What about Bornhole?
I didn't see the trailer. Is Bornhole Jr. just...
You didn't see the trailer. You did a podcast with Matt about the trailer.
Well, no. Let me guess if Bornhole will... I think Bornhole does have to survive.
The trailer for the next episode that I'm seeing, I was saying.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
Okay, well, I think Bornhole does have to survive. He's done terrible things. Okay. He was behind Matt Cawthon's mom dying, so you would think, well, doesn't he deserve, an eye for an eye justice? I do think somehow he has to realize that life is complex, and so my guess is Bornhole Jr. is going to survive the big attack.
Do you think he's going to forgive Perrin?
I don't know if forgive so much as
let it go.
As just say, yeah, I'm not gonna attack you anymore. If that's letting it go, then that's letting.
I don't have a prediction as much as I wish.
Oh.
I wish Bornhole Jr. to die so that Child Valda can step in.
That is a twist. Would Child Valda ever go to the side of the Two Rivers folks?
No, I mean, get control of the White Cloaks in the end. I think Bornhole Jr. should sacrifice himself. Try to save the people there.
Whoa.
This is completely off the books, okay? It's not on the books.
Yeah, no problem.
So he sacrificed himself because he cannot live without his daddy anymore or without his alcohol. So his life lost all the meaning. So he sacrificed himself. This means that the next season, fourth season, we will have Child Valda as the leader of the White Cloaks.
That would be a fun.
That's my wish.
Twist. That'd be a fun.
That's
twist.
my wish.
Hold on. You know how I'm going to go completely off the board too. Again, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But you know how many times in literature and stories do we get this? Like Romeo and Juliet. He's from this family. She's from that family, and the families can't get along, but they fall in love. What if next season it's Child Valda and an Aes Sedai falling in love. And they're like, I hate Aes Sedai. White folks try to
Alanna.
kill us, but we're in love. And who would that be? Well, I know a single lady who's down one man in the two rivers, Alanna.
Alanna. Yeah.
Alanna, here we go, love. Forbidden
I don't think
love.
so.
Will Valda be able to resist the urge to burn her?
There you go. He wanted to burn her.
It's
while
it's
she
the
burned
mystery
his
box for
heart.
season 4.
He wanted to burn her while his loins burned for her. It's forbidden wheel of time love.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
Love it, Bubba. Love it.
Child
What else
Valda
have we got
has
on that Two
better
Rivers?
things
If I
to
love it, you
do.
know that's a bad endorsement.
No, no.
What else on the Two Rivers here?
Oh, no, nothing. Two Rivers is boring.
It's going to be a big action piece, you would assume, coming up next week.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll get to see a lot of my brothers. I'm looking forward to that.
Be strong, coach. They got to do well next week.
Yeah. They got to make their coach proud. Anyway, musical analysis. There is none.
What?
Matt's not here, but he did leave me a note to tell you some of this stuff. During the breakup scene, we heard Rand's theme, and there's no point in breaking it down because it's been out for weeks. Lauren Balfour released it as a single before the season 3 official soundtrack was released, which was released the first week of the season. You can hear it definitely under when Rand's talking to Egwene. So I'll just add this comment. So they had to make the scene about Rand and not about Egwene's.
Oh, coach.
What are they doing? What are they doing there? This scene's about Egwene. And no, it's about Rand.
No, I disagree. I think that scene is about all the members of the audience who wants to have Rand gone from Egwene's life. From Egwene's life, not gone, not that.
So play Egwene's theme and not Rand's, for crying out
loud.
Yeah.
Bubba has questions.
Bubba has questions.
I do. Now, some of you listeners, I apologize. You may get frustrated with me because I feel like I've brought this up 3 times in a row on the Bubba has questions section. So again, I'll just keep pointing it out. Lord of the Rings, the goals are real simple. Destroy the rings, bad guys. We want to get that ring. The Game of Thrones, motivations are real clear. I want the throne. No, I want the throne. I'm going to get revenge. Hey, I'm going to protect the kingdoms from these evil monsters. Everybody's goal is kind of very clear. In the Wheel of Time, a lot of characters, their goals, their first goal is very clear. Hey, I'm going to raise Rand up to leader. Hey, I'm going to capture and kill Rand. Or, ooh, we got to get these magical bracelets back from the Black Aja. Or, I'm a Barhold and I got to kill the person who killed my father. So, their initial goal is pretty clear. But this big picture of the last battle as a show watcher only, it still feels that the last battle is a concept of a plan, a concept of a battle, as opposed to, okay, this is what the last battle is. Then this episode and the prophecy and everything that goes into it, when Rand, accidentally kills this young child, it has me thinking, boy, if this show goes 6 seasons, how many people is Rand going to kill on purpose or by accident? This could be really tough to watch. And then my final question, and I haven't given you guys a chance to answer, so apologies for that, but I've already talked about how I think the collar in the 2 bracelets, I don't think the heroes can have that. I think the 2 rivers will be saved, but in a lot of ways, the big bad villain in season 2, I've already said it, was the Seanchan. They were evil. They made me, a show watcher, want them defeated. They were defeated. This season, if I say, what's been the big evil? In a lot of ways, it's lanfear torturing Egwene has been probably the most evil thing I've seen this season. And so I definitely think it'll end by the end of the season, but lanfear is seemingly a big part of this show. So just like the Seanchan were defeated in season 2, does that mean the big bad of season 3 has to be defeated? And I don't see lanfear being defeated. So part of me wonders if, as I asked at the opening, is this season going to end with any of our characters happy?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. What do you guys think? And I know you think you have book knowledge, but do you think there are going to be any of our characters, quote unquote, happy at the end of this season? I wonder.
I think Perrin will be happy at the end of the
Okay, there you
season.
go. Right, he's
I
kissing
think
somebody. Sure, okay.
yeah, he will defeat the Trolloc threat to Rivers. He will manage
Sure.
to save his people, and he met Fael. So I think he will be more or less happy about.
Okay, yeah, I had a good turning of the wheel. All right, sure.
Yeah, I think Matt too might be a little bit happy. Yeah.
I have a hard time.
He's going to get hung, according to Min's vision.
There you go, Coach T. You've been paying attention. Yeah, I have a hard time seeing Matt being happy.
No, but he's working around his fears of not helping people because he never wanted to help. He's helping people by helping the girls find the artifacts and the Black Aja. He has Min on his back, like sharing that she wants to prevent the vision from coming true. Then he met Tom also, so he seems to be on the way to happiness somehow.
Right. Coach T.
Egwene finally kicked Red out of her life. So
yeah,
that means
that's good, but I don't know if she's happy about it, right? Like
she will be very happy. I'm telling you,
out of my hair.
She will be very happy. Once the initial shock goes subdues, she will be very happy without Red.
Coach T, you got any happiness you see for characters at the end of the season?
Well, I'll tell you this. Matt warned me that anytime I try to say anything in this section, you'll just accuse me of spoiling you. Yeah, sure. So I'll just say that I hope that they're all unhappy because that's what I'm supposed to say.
Spoilers, Coach T. How could you? Rude spoilers.
Ooh.
Here, I'll give you a different question, Coach T. And this one, once again, you can't spoil, but so I mentioned that I did read the first couple of books, and just like in the first season, in the books, Tom Maryland's left in a place where you're like, there is no way in hell that this character should survive this setting where there are Trollocs and Fades around. So obviously, Tom Maryland is either a dark friend or a Forsaken or evil. So, Coach, you can spoil me, so I'll ask you it this way. Do you like Tom Maryland? If you say yes, I know he's a dark friend or a Forsaken. So
I can't answer that without spoiling you one way or the other, can I?
Oh boy!
And so I'll just say that Tom Maryland is an interesting character.
Spoilers, complete spoilers. Oh my goodness! Let's get away from these evil.
Fireweave of the week. Fireweave of the week. What was the best burn in the episode? Priscilla, what you got?
I think Egwene with Rand, the confrontation. Yeah, I think it was I don't even see as a burn. I see as a justified, well-reasoned, and completely well-articulated argument because Rand is the worst boyfriend. So I don't see it's a burn. It was just a fact of life. That she was
bringing up the fact that lanfear was torturing her was a pretty good zinger.
Yeah, no, but I mean, Rand was very weird. He was very weird there with Egwene. I didn't like it.
He's always weird.
He's always weird. That's true. Yeah, okay. I would say that.
Pretty good. Bubba, how about you?
Well, I think the best burn of the week is the one where the show writers went to the actor who plays Loyal and said, you thought you were going to have something to do this season? Burn.
That's so awful.
But instead of that, because that's so mean, since Loyal hasn't done a single thing this season, I'm going to say the best burn of the week is what my girl Leandrin did to Naomi right through this forehead. That was the burn of the week. Youch.
It was pretty good. That was pretty good. Mine was just lanfear looking at Leandrin and saying, you miss feeling like you're important, don't you?
Ooh, ice cold. I love
that. And then again, Mogi's my girl. I just love the way that she just is a prankster. She's just a prankster. She's the epitome of your nightmare McDonald's employee.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, because she throws a McFlurry when she doesn't get her way.
Spits on the burgers. Let's see. We've got lots of feedback this time around. So
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Bubba, you put a tweet out asking for people to tell you what they thought of episode 6. You went across all social medias, obviously, because we got some from Blue Sky as well. 80s Days fan said the episode was fantastic, up with episode 4 as the best of the series.
Whoa,
Rantal
great.
Moore on Twitter said it's amazing.
Yeah.
Then we got some other stuff from social media too, like Shorizons. Love that name. That's great. Shorizons, pardon me. By the way, is Coach Trolloc coming back? Well, obviously, although this may be my last appearance, Matt will probably definitely fire me after this one.
No.
Oh,
Also, Shorizons said, and this might be on YouTube. Where was this from, Bubba?
Yeah, this is YouTube, Horizons.
Okay. So Rand should be mad with Egwene
Whoa.
because she was in his wet dream.
What?
Elayne
Oh,
is so Titanic style with Aviendha.
Whoa.
Guys, this was Kish. Anyways, it was a good episode.
Okay. Well, all right.
Every night in my dreams, I see you. I feel you. I love that scene. I thought it was great. That
We
is
have
how I
Coach-
know you go
Coach-
on.
okay.
Coach T, you keep singing. We are going to be rooting for Perrin next week. So let me say that we also, on episode 6, Steve Underwood, who's at BLAQUE, Blackword on Blue Sky, said the Forsaken keep trying to dominate everyone in episode 6. And they do. They succeed. Let me say it.
Excellent. We also got an email
Yeah.
from Carolina Johnson. Oh, this is great. Matt's audioblog at gmail.com. Matthew Murdoch or Matthew.Murdoch on bsky.social or double PHQ across all social medias. Carolina says, wow, what an episode. Ishi is back. Nice. Okay. I am looking forward to pondering about this episode with you all. But in the meantime, I thought you'd send you one of those fancy emails that you always encourage us to send. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rating 8 out of 10 ONYDs.
ONYDs?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, yes. Hell yes.
I cannot believe that Moiraine is again betraying Rand by not warning him of the machinations around him. I think she really wanted the Dragon Reborn to trust her so that she could be honest with him. But then we would not have a story, would we?
Well, let's pause right there. Priscilla, what do you think? Is Moiraine betraying Rand by not giving up the ghost and saying, hey, I've got this deal with lanfear? Is Moiraine betraying Rand? What says you, Priscilla?
Well, Rand would definitely see this way.
Sure.
But who is Rand, by the way? Who is Rand to Moiraine?
Well, he's the dragon. He's the Dragon Reborn. He's the guy she's putting all her faith in.
Is he Moraine's son, lover, friend? No. Rand is just a boy she found in the Two Rivers that she's trying to put some sense into. And he has been terrible to her up until recently. And he has been actually getting more adult, more mature. He has been trying to be close to her. But this is a recent development. So I would say that Moraine's loyalties are like Egwene told Swan. She's not loyal to Rand. She's loyal to the light.
Dang.
So,
all right.
So let's be all against Rand. But honestly, yeah, he would see that as her betraying him. So, but we don't care.
Well, Carolina, who scored it 8 out of 10, she goes on to say that she scored episode 6 lower because she feels the show continues to do these day for night shots where they film something at day and then kind of use filters to make it look it was shot at night. And she thinks for her that ruins the whole suspension of disbelief. And she rolls her eyes anytime she sees a nighttime scene coming up on the show. Ouch. Thank you for this podcast. Can't wait to watch it. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for that feedback.
They really do use poor filters with that stuff. On top of that, when they do shoot at night, it's so hard to see on a streaming thing. Bubba, you were talking about a scene that you couldn't figure out what was being happening on your computer screen. A lot of times things when they're streamed on computers are so compressed it's hard to see. You put it on your TV, and if you have your TV set right, which is something I always have against, but if you have your TV set right, I don't think that anybody should have to adjust their TV set for a television show. I think a TV show should adjust itself for a basic setting on a TV. Anyway, when you watch it on TV, you can at least define it a little better, as you said. But that's just me. It's really not an issue for me. Trollocs see well at night.
I'm saying. More feedback, Coach. Arosa_MG says, last week when we were talking about Rand and Egwene, they've been our main subject matter these last couple of weeks. Arosa wrote, Rand was indifferent, but Egwene was afraid of Rand going mad, and she didn't want to continue the relationship. Egwene was always on Rand's side, but with great hesitancy. I never was sure if she'd be there no matter what. And I think the breakup sets up for that dynamic where we know she is there, but in the end, maybe not. Maybe Egwene could pull a Latra and let the dragon deal with it alone again.
Like from the flashback in season 1. Yeah, excellent. Love that, Arosa. And yeah, it's hard to, I know that Matt was thinking about this particular one, and he said that, I love how there are many different interpretations there are of everything, is basically what he said to me. Arosa, I'm just going to say you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I actually think Arosa is right. I think Arosa is correct.
Okay, good. Now we got this feedback from D3G4, who said, if you think about it, lanfear could kill Moiraine and Egwene at any time.
I hope so.
If Rand doesn't show an interest in lanfear, she has nothing to lose by killing Moiraine and Egwene. Do you agree with that, Priscilla, that lanfear is only keeping Moiraine and Egwene alive because Rand is currently showing her the interest, meaning lanfear's getting the love? What do you think?
I don't know if this would pan out because Rand actually likes Egwene and Moiraine at some point. I don't know. He would take offense if lanfear would kill them. Okay. Of course, lanfear could say I didn't kill them, and then Rand would say, "Okay, fine." Yeah. But eventually, he would find out. I think this would spoil things, and I think lanfear knows.
I think Rand is still right now in the Luke Skywalker mode. He's still trying to save Dad. He's still thinking that lanfear can turn to. I think that what Egwene told him in this episode might make him, less privy to lanfear's works. And I also want to say this: we already know that this is what lanfear's planning. She basically told Moiraine that. She said, "You're only going to stay alive as long as I'm useful." She didn't say that in so many words, but that's what she was implying.
We got this feedback from Dr. Rohan Jacob, who wrote, isn't Egwene supposed to be Latra reborn, like Rand is Lewis Theron reborn? I think we just talked about that. Anything else you want to say about that, Coach T or Priscilla?
I like it.
Okay. We had Zephyr Cat, who wrote, Matt, you said, and Matt's not here, so I'll answer for him. She said, Matt, you said you didn't want to subject us to your singing. Don't sell yourself short. I think you have a great voice.
Yeah, but what do you think of my voice? What do you think of my voice, Zephyr Cat? You heard me singing Titanic earlier. What'd you think? Tell me.
Geez, hey, we'll find out. Now,
well, that was a silence for a second.
Nobody wants to say anything. Nobody really wants to be nice to a Trolloc. See, that's
we
what
were afraid if we said something, you might start singing again.
Yeah, good point.
Now, Coach T, Shirley said, hey, actually, Priscilla, you're going to have to read Shirley's feedback. Adore Priscilla. What is she saying there in Portuguese?
She's saying Priscilla's smart.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful.
Matt knows he has learned Portuguese from the translations. She said she loved me. I'm very intelligent.
Oh,
She also says that she loves it. It's so funny to see Bubba taking on the catfish role. Clueless. Is that what she means?
Coach T, you are really digging it. I'm going to be rooting for the Two Rivers to kill all your relatives next week.
Finally, oh God, double L.
Double L.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
loyal listener.
Yes.
Link Heartthrob is thinking about cashing in on the series.
Heck
I want
yeah.
to do it. And he said, I haven't watched any of this series. Do you all
Whoa.
do podcasts from season 1 onward? Any primers you would recommend prior to watching, or just jump right in? I say just jump right in. It's fun that way.
Do you agree, Priscilla? Should he just jump right into the Wheel of Time, or does he need to do some homework beforehand?
I don't know. It depends on what type of experience you want to have. If you want to be like, if you want to know exactly where you're going, like having context, then it's, I think, no, but you can jump in. Yeah, sure. Why not?
And Carolina Johnson, who is at Carl Joso on YouTube.
Yeah, that's Carolina. We were just talking to her.
Yeah,
Rather
and
email.
she submitted some stuff for episode 5 as well.
Oh, great.
Saying that it was a really fun breakdown, and for her 5th, said, I think I would take a 5th for the Perrin and Hopper scene. I just missed that wolf a lot. Justice for Hopper. Yeah, me too. I'd like for Hopper to be alive again so I could eat him. I would hope that Elayne's dream would come true. I want freedom for her. One detail I've heard on the tube is that Lanfear has the same haircut as Egwene. Ooh, what do you think about that little detail? It totally seems like something she would do to mess with Rand. I would give this episode episode 5 a 9 out of 10 double D's for dumb darkness.
Whoa.
The shots in this episode made me wish for daytime ambushes. It seems that they still have not figured out how to film night scenes. We kind of already addressed that, so no need to talk about that. And Bubba, what do you think about the haircut thing? Because remember, what the wise ones have been telling Egwene is that she has all the power in her dream, but not in Teleron Riyadh. Yet when we see Lanfear with Rand, it seems like she even mentioned in an earlier episode that it's him who's pulling her into his dream. So is it Rand possibly making her hair more like Egwene?
Both of these actors and characters are beautiful. Both of them have great hairstyles. And so I will say that it is Rand giving her a haircut every time he pulls her into Teleron.
Yeah, well, into his dream. They're not actually in Teleron Riyadh. Remember, Teleron Riyadh is that the wise ones have talked about this. It's a kind of its own separate world, which represents the whole world. That's where Lanfear is most dangerous. That's why they're trying to get Egwene to come into Egwene's dream, where she'll have more power. Because even in this episode, when Egwene was on the wheel, Lanfear had pulled her out of her dream and into Teleron Riyadh. You saw her dissipate, and then she was in Lanfear's ring.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Great feedback. Thank you guys so much. Coach T, how can people submit feedback?
Oh, sure. You can send your thoughts on Blue Sky to matthewmurdoch.bsky.social. You can find Double PHQ across all social medias. I don't even know how many social medias there are, but you can bet that Double P Media is on it. You can leave comments on our videos on YouTube, youtube.com/@the-word-double, the letter P, the word media. And Priscilla does stuff for Wheel of Time too. She does it in Portuguese. Priscilla speaks about 27 different languages. So chances are you're going to find a language you like when she talks. At Priscilla TV1 is the YouTube channel, Matt's audioblog at gmail.com, or as I'm assuming that Caroline Johnson reached out, hello at doublepmedia.com is another email. There's so many ways to contact us. It's just criminal that you haven't done it yet.
Wow. You're telling people that they are criminals just for not sending you an email. That's very nice.
Hey, takes one to know one, right? Takes one to know one. Takes one to know one.
Coach.
I'm a criminal. Takes one to know one. Okay, so we're going to get into spoilers now.
All right, you guys get into those great deep spoilers. I'll talk to everybody next week.
Thank you, Bubba. All right, so now we can talk actually about that whole bit with Ishamael. And you probably already know this, Priscilla. I'm not sure if it's been revealed in these books yet or not. But in the books, Ishamael was only partially sealed. Remember, Lews Therin sealed everybody all at once. He sealed the boar, and some of the Forsaken were trapped in there with him. And Ishamael was only partially trapped. And so, therefore, he could kind of seep into the world again about every 40 years or so. Now, why they came up with 95 years ago, I have no idea. But it was in Liandrin's dream. So maybe his reach of power was only being able to get into the dream world at the time. That's interesting, though. But we couldn't tell Bubba that yet because the show hasn't explained it yet.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's what I assumed was happening.
Yeah.
And also,
on the other hand, it doesn't make any sense because they had the Forsaken in the show sealed individually. We even saw Ishamael being sealed. So that rule from the books wouldn't necessarily apply from him unless Lews Therin just did a bad job sealing Ishamael.
So the rules might be slightly different in the TV series, but they should be keeping some of the original rules and the intentions back. So
that, or they should at least keep their rules. You know, if you're going to have the show's going to go in one direction, I feel like the show should stay in that direction and not just give 5 of a cameo so that people will be happy.
We don't know the exact direction that they are taking with the Forsaken yet. We don't even know how many are they. Like, we think it's 8. But we think it's 8, but Rafe does not want to confirm or deny it. He might want to change the mind, or I don't know. We think
I don't approve of showrunners changing their mind in the middle of a show. That kind of thing needs rules.
Okay.
I'm also just sick of the Padan Fain thing. If we're not going to do his full story about how he was basically possessed when he was in Shadar Logoth and everything, I don't even want to see him there. He's just there to smile and whistle and look mean. It just seems a waste. They need to get rid of him or do his full story. That's my opinion.
Do you think what they are going to do? Do you think they are going to at least hint at the story?
I have no idea. But they haven't done. He showed up for what, 3 scenes in season 2, so he could bring the horn to Turok, and then tempt Matt with the dagger. Something that book Padan Fain would never have done. Would never have been able to part with that dagger. It's just there's just too many inconsistencies there, and it'd be better to me if they have Perrin kill Padan Fain this season rather than and not do the whole Shadar Logoth thing completely.
What do you want to happen? Do you want Perrin to kill Padan Fain then?
I want them to do one or the other. I want them to either kill him or do his full story without all these little just cameo appearances.
I don't know. Padan Fain has been a minor character since the beginning. I don't know if it makes sense at this point in the series, in particular in the 3rd season, to invest time to give him a story. But
right, so let's kill him.
Yeah, you could. I don't know. I mean,
we just can't have this little dribble for no reason. Is what
if they're going to make it simple, if they're going to make this, he's simply a dark friend that is attacking the 2 rivers right now. Yes, sure, kill him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to skip over the magic rules thing. I kind of already went off on that. You already corrected me on that. Fael's mom is not a dark friend in the books. Guerra is anything but. Now, I've seen a lot of theories out there. It's like maybe they're doing one of Davram's other wives, but then that wouldn't be Fael's mom. So I don't know what they're doing there. It just seems silly. They just needed both of them to have a dark moment so that they could kiss. It just seems silly.
Yeah, I think they wanted to bring them together in a way that they found their stories similar from the emotional point. They wanted to give
Could they
her
have picked anything else?
as a tragic backstory as he is, so they could relate to each other.
Anyways,
Obviously,
they've made that choice, so whatever.
yeah.
I mean, if they're going to do something cool with it, like if they actually have to have Fael face off with their mom in the next episode.
You just said that she might. You just said that you saw a woman there.
Well, there's a woman that's there right next to Pat and Fane. And when they're overlooking the village when they first arrive. So I'm thinking that that's what they're going to do. But I don't know. It just seems weird. But that's the only way they can make it meaningful for Fael to even give her that story, is if she has to either fight or save her mom from the dark side.
Why would she save the mother that killed her brother? I think.
Well, that's a good point.
Maybe they're just planting seeds for future development in the future of the series, because they have to keep giving these characters something to do, right?
Could be. Very good. I'm not going to talk about Matt yet. I'm going to go through some of this feedback here. You and I both replied to this guy back on YouTube, but it was when we were talking about Galad and the correction that I made about Galad at the beginning of one of the podcasts. And you, Eminator, said Galad has always been a Damodred in the books. He's half brother to Elayne. He came from Elaine's father's side, but not from Morgase Trakan. So he's a Damodred. Yes, we know that. But the show had made it seem different. And that's why Matt was so emphatic about correcting himself, because he had assumed that the show was going in a different direction. And it did not. It went in the direction of the books. We like that. And Carl Joso also asked this, and this is interesting. I'm intrigued by your interpretation about the searching for the song. I took it as they were trying to find the song that we're singing when the war happened, after the Aiel became nomadic and they split up into different factions, right? I think the time we hear them utter that phrase, they are generations from the Boar, and therefore having lost the feeling of being one with the earth, and tilling brought happiness. Thanks for the great discussion. That's great. As far as a show goes, I think that that's the right interpretation. I think that's the interpretation you're supposed to get. What both Rant al'Thor and Matt were surprised at was the fact that because there was a missing vision, or part of a vision missing from the Meridian episode, we didn't see the Aiel singing the song that kept a male channeler who was going mad from totally balefiring a city. And so I think that that is the song that they are searching for, is the song of peace. And so does Rant al'Thor. Not a harvest song, not a growing song. If you're looking for a growing song, we've already seen an Ogier do that in the show. We already saw Loyal do a growing song for the tree with the sunshine. So you were of the mind, Priscilla, that what Carl Joseph is saying here is right. It's just a song of the harvest, right?
That's what I understood by the clues from the show. But I think you're completely right. I think regarding the book, you know. And it's okay. Things can have added meanings or different meanings depending on what you're seeing. Okay, so it can be both. It can be like a song that makes things better, that makes crops grow, that makes people not go mad, like a song of, I don't know, of betterment, of I don't know.
Well, maybe they were just good singers and it didn't matter what the song was. He was just, hanging out.
Maybe it's the kind of song that would make the fields happy and the people happy.
Okay.
And we should talk about tone also. we are under the impression, or at least they gave us the impression, that they are going to adapt just 8
Right.
Forsaken, and we have seen the first season statues of Forsaken, and we have been meeting Forsaken since the first season. Like first was Ishamael, second season we got lanfear, and we at the third season we are at the point that we actually have met more Forsaken, 5 actually, and we have at least 2 mentioned by name, except for one from the original 8 statues that we saw on the first season. So the theory goes that this kind of hints to the possibility that there should be a hidden Forsaken among the characters that we already met. And since Tom Merrilin's reintroduction to the series has kind of gone a little bit different, and the timing of it, because in the books he has this confrontation in the first book, and then he appears again in the second book, so it's like there is not a relevant
Tom is
time.
never very far away from him.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. Here in the series, it took another season of people assuming that he was dead. And this time skip is different, and the way they are introducing the character into the story, because they are bringing him exactly where he is in the books. He is in Tanchico too, right?
Yes.
So, but he's given the mission to go to Tanchico by Moiraine. He's told that he needs to go to help these kids. And this kind of a stage that it seems very possible that, not that Tom's merely reintroduction is strange per se, but there are some similarities with the person, the Forsaken that is still missing there, because they are both good musicians. And also, and finally, and for me is the greatest telling of all, that this theory might be really not a possibility but the truth, is that when we see him the last time, first season, that he's fighting the fate, right?
Right.
And he tells Rand and Matt to go away. Like, he's kind of like sacrificing himself, and then we don't hear anything about him for another season. For him, for him to reappear now, it could be like visually. It could be that like this Forsaken took over the character Tom Merriling as himself, right?
Yeah. They could do that. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I don't like what that does for Tom's story with the Tower of Ganji. However, you could instead put Swan in Tom's role
That's
at the
correct.
Tower of Ganji, and then everything would still be okay. You can make Tom Asmodean, yeah.
And you eliminate Tom Merriling as the endgame romance for Moiraine. You keep Swan as the endgame romance for Moiraine.
Yeah, that works.
Which they are kind of wanting to do, I feel, in the series.
Feels like it. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, because
which I have no problem with.
Yeah, because at this point in the books, there are hints that Moiraine and Tom Merriling are, at least Tom Merriling is attracted to Moiraine. So
exactly. So the other question that I have regarding Tom is that they did that little drop in there where he said that, he knew who Elayne was because he was spent time in the court of Andor.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get the vibe that Elayne knew who he was too?
No.
Because she does in the books.
Yeah.
And And then the other thing is do you think they'll ever bring up the fact that Tom, and I don't know that a Forsaken would know this, but that Tom and Morghese fooled around when he was in the court there.
You know what? I think the whole Tom Merrilin is secretly hot in the books is a little bit overblown for me.
Okay. But is show Tom Merrilin hot enough?
Show Tom Merrilin is very hot. Yes. I don't think in the books he also serves as a as kind of like this person that tells Elayne that her mother is not this perfect figure, that the mother is a woman too and has needs.
Well, Elayne kind of already knows that. In the show, I mean, in the show she does.
Yeah, yes, that's what I was trying to say. That in the books they have this conversation, and that's like the function there at some point, like for Elayne to realize that the mother is a human being too. But in the show, Elayne is already aware of that, and I'm not so sure they would do that, especially because Tom Merrilin in the show might not be Moraine's endgame partner, So it wouldn't okay, now he explains like the kind of people, the kind of women that Tom Merrilin is attracted to. He likes powerful, woman of a certain age, or I don't know. It feels out of the. It feels that it doesn't have a purpose, but I can see them actually doing that. Another thing that I found very interesting is the whole concept that the Forsaken they are infiltrators, right? Each one has kind of a mission. Each one is doing their own thing. So Raven infiltrated Andor, and in the second season we saw Ishamael infiltrating the Shancheng. Is it possible that Samael was infiltrating the Shido?
Book 7.
Yeah,
that's why I was saying it looks like I've been saying there's been several things that they've been alluding to from book 7.
Cool.
So I feel
cool.
like I like it. It's just that I don't know if that means that there could be storylines in book 7 that they could completely cut. But Matt thought that the Shanshan, or not the Shanshan, the Sea Folk, that you might not even need them if you don't do the Bowl of Winds. Because Matt was thinking that the Bowl of Winds might get cut. But now I don't know what they're going to do with the Sea Folk. Are important in the last battle, but that's also with the Chosen Call thing, the fact that they know where the female Chosen Call is. So I don't know exactly how they're going to weave the Sea Folk in unless they do the Bowl of Winds now. So I got no idea what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in this case scenario, Tom Merrilin as a Forsaken works.
Yeah.
Samael as infiltrating the IU also works for me.
It's a fun little thing in book 7. Samael actually gives Cirilla, who may not be a character that you've met yet. She's a wise one for the Shido. I don't know. I don't remember what book she's introduced in yet. He actually gives her a cell phone and communicates with her via cell phone. It's a magic talking box is what they call it, but it's a cell phone.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But there is another. What do you think it's going to happen with the other two, Grendel and Semihaj? Because they were like Semihaj is already at this point in the books. She already has some participation, right?
I'm trying to remember. All I know is that Semihaj is really good at torture.
I think she sent someone to confront Rand at some point. I don't know if book 3 or whatever.
Could be, yeah.
And about Matt.
Yeah, Matt. So how are they going to do this? They can't just have a door in Tanchico too, can they? I mean, I
think
know
they-
there's 2 doors, but
I think they should. If they are doing it at all, it should be now, right?
well, we do know that he's got the
Because-
fox head medallion on the poster, so you assume he's going to get that. But does he get it just as a random item in Tanchico, or does he come out with it
No.
after the door thing and Min saves him?
Why are they in Tanchico? Because Matt wants Nynaeve to help him with his strange memories, right?
Right.
So how would Nynaeve help him with this strange memories? He has to go through the door, like the portal, right?
I guess so.
But it was Egwene at first that
But where will
tells
the door
Matt.
be then? Will it also be in the Penarch's palace with the
He
collar?
starts meeting the Finns because Egwene tells him to do it
through the door in
yeah,
the tower?
isn't it?
I thought he just chose to go there himself.
No, I
Oh.
think Egwene gives him the idea. It's like, hey, yeah, you could try this.
Maybe.
It's
I don't know.
dangerous.
So you have
dangerous.
Nynaeve tell him to go through the door, but I'm saying, where's the door going to be? At the Penarch's palace?
I think
same as the
Penix,
collar?
yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
All
They are
right.
setting this up that Nynaeve will help him with the memories, and that's why he has to stick by her, right?
Yeah,
And
true.
they are setting it up that something will happen at Penarch's palace. So,
But how is Nynaeve going to know that the door's going to help Matt?
that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because at this point in the books, Egwene is actively studying stuff. And she's
Right.
actually trying artifacts and trying to figure out things. So that's
And in
why
the show, just as Pogo the Drago points out, Nynaeve's pretty much clueless.
yes, Nynaeve has, it's so infuriating because Nynaeve has nothing except being victimized at this point. She's and it's painful to watch because you know that they are waiting until the very end to give her something to do.
Nothing else to talk about for me. Anything else for you?
I don't know. You said that you're getting mixed signals from the show.
Yeah.
The female channel.
Well, we already talked about that as far as the magic goes.
Yeah, we talked very back. Well, yeah, that's true.
So I don't have anything more to say about that.
Okay.
In fact, now I'm thinking that, I was wrong. You were right. So
at this point of showing how it affects, how you can see, I think there is truth that they choose the moments where they are going to. I don't know if it's a matter of just saying, okay, focus on Rand, but not what, focus on Rand here, focus on what is happening around Rand. And once they have a big confrontation, then you can see what channel is.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe, yeah.
The other thing, though, about Aviendha, and Bubba was right. He's like, I have no idea this was happening for Aviendha. Well, we know that wise ones, some of them can channel, so that's fine. But even in the books, when Avi does channel, at least the first couple times we read of it, it kind of happens out of the blue because she's just got kind of a natural talent for it, I guess. I don't know. There's no implication that she's being trained all that extensively that way. So I guess in retrospect, even though I kind of complained about it, and I know Bubba complained about it because it does throw a TV show only person completely out of whack. But it's not that untrue to the books as far as Avi is concerned that all of a sudden she's pretty good at channeling.
You saw how the Cotton girls, they could heal. Alanna.
Got to throw that in Matt's face again, don't you? Just got to throw it in Matt's face.
So
Matt
for
still
the
thinks it's a terrible storytelling idea.
so for the show, also Nynaeve, her powers come back and forth. It depends.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all a little bit
Fast and loose with the rules
yeah.
of magic
Yeah.
is exactly what we've all been saying for a long time.
It's all about need, right? They all like need.
Yes, and I don't think that's a good thing.
I think I like it this way because it's less rigid.
But one of the whole things
like
about the books is the fact that they are, if you're going to cover the spirit of the book, one of the big key things about the spirit of the book is the fact that this magic system is very intricate. It has a lot of rules. And the fact that they started playing fast and loose with those rules from season 1 has kind of bothered me as a book reader.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Well, I just think that the average viewer,
Okay.
they might prefer when you are having like a big confrontation where you have to, you want to see the power and how the power is translated to the screen, because it's
on
a
the
big
other hand, you don't want to
confrontation,
confuse
right?
like a TV only guy like Bubba who says, "Well, I had no idea. What the heck is that about?"
Yeah, but Baba is a viewer that actually he's reviewing it, right? So he's not the regular one.
Bubba is definitely not a regular one.
So if you are just tuning in every week with like some popcorn or pizza, like enjoying yourself, having a good time, you want the confrontation to happen and to have like the flashes and the lights and everything,
Okay.
Otherwise it would not seem fun or appealing.
Anyway, folks, again, Matthew Murdoch.bsky.social. Please check out Priscilla's videos. They're very good at Priscilla TV1 on YouTube. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.